Buddy Moon Dust here. Let's talk about the games happened on Sunday. The first game is the Lakers lost to the Atlanta Hawks. The news came out that LeBron has some right knee issues, mainly because of the huge minutes he was playing. All the back-to-backs he was playing without AD, especially has to carry a bigger offensive load. With AD back, if you didn't sell LeBron high for any first round player, you might have missed the opportunity. Well, let's see when he does come back. But I mean, it's not a serious injury. It's just he needs some rest. So with him out, I think guys like Malik Monk, Carmelo Anthony, especially the guards. I guess Russell Westbrook is still there. They are gonna get a few more minutes. I like Malik Monk the best, and then maybe Carmelo Anthony, and then maybe Taylor Horton Tucker. But again, you never know. Trevor Ariza was starting 20 minutes. Now he gets DNPs. The Lakers rotation is hard to figure out, but Malik Monk, look at this game: 12 for 19, 33 points. He has been really, really good. He needs to be picked up 100%, and also try to sell high on him. If he, because when LeBron does come back, he's not gonna do this. Stanley Johnson got a few more minutes this game. He's not really fantasy relevant. AD, just the 5 rebounds, like 6 for 9 from the free throw line. As long as he's healthy, I don't think we could complain too much. And 38 minutes here is overall a great line, 2 steals and a block. And Russell Westbrook with LeBron out, he's also gonna have an opportunity to average triple doubles. 12 assists here is really, really good as well. And interestingly, Melo and Taylor Horton Tucker with LeBron out, all these minutes mainly went to Malik Monk, and Austin Reeves got more minutes than the other 2 guys. But it's hard to say. If Lakers got a good schedule, I don't think I would hesitate to stream Carmelo Anthony for points and threes. And honestly, I don't know if I'm interested in Taylor Horton Tucker. The guy is just, the first 3 games he played really well. Sometimes I feel like it could just be a confidence thing. I don't think he's getting that back this year, which is not, I like him, but he needs to. Whenever I watch Lakers play, he's just so indecisive. If he's in a corner, someone passes to him, he would hesitate for like a half a second and then shoot. Everything he does on the court, to me, just lack of confidence. Let's look at the Atlanta Hawks. Interestingly, Trae Young played 37 minutes. Great game, 36 points and 12 assists. He's been really good all year. But the rest of the starters, nobody played over 26, 25. Like Gallinari got 25. Bogdanovic, who I think is going to start eventually. I think we could pick him up and just see where things go. If he gets injured again, too bad, move on from him. And Okongwu got 22 minutes. So these 3 guys basically split the minutes. Not exactly, but they took, none of the starters played that have minutes. Clint Capella as well played just 24, while Okongwu, their first round player, 6th pick, played 22 minutes. We know Okongwu can put up big lines when he played 30 minutes. And he's in that 18 to 22 minute range with Capella healthy. Not a must-roster guy, but 8 for 9 here is huge. 16 points, and usually he blocked a lot of shots. If you need some blocks that week and you need some field goals, he's a nice guy to have, but not a must-roster because the low minutes. And then obviously Clint Capella, that sucks. But I don't think he's gonna play 24 minutes the rest of the way, right? A lot of the games he's gonna play 30. John Collins also had a nice game versus the Lakers, 10 for 13, 11 rebounds, 20 points, and 3 steals. And let's see if John Collins gets traded before the trade deadline. He's not happy there. I don't know. If they're winning and the stats suffer a little bit, maybe that could be an issue for John Collins. But realistically, where is he gonna go? He wants to have a team, built around him. I mean, he's not that type of player. He doesn't. He's not gonna win games by himself. He's just kind of like, so far what we've seen from him is a complementary piece. Like, he should not be the star player on the team, right? That's Trae Young on this team, and he wants to be that. DeAndre Hunter, 25 minutes. 9 points. Also need to be rostered. Play just 25 this game because a lot of the minutes went to Gallinari. Let's go to the next game. The LA Clippers beat the Charlotte Hornets. Hornets, man, they were exciting to watch. They are still exciting to watch, but they've just been losing so many games. Still the 7th seed. Well, actually they're 6-4, but I think they only beat some bad teams and lost to decent ones. They lost to Clippers at home, which is not good. Clippers, they went without everybody, and just like the Atlanta Hawks, the minutes for the starters. Nobody played over 26. I mean, Amir Coffey played 26, and that's it. So everybody, the entire squad played around 25 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes. That's obviously not great for fantasy. I think Marcus Morris Sr. is the guy I like, and Reggie Jackson, right? Reggie Jackson needs to be rostered for sure, and then Marcus Morris Sr. and then Amir Coffey, and then Luke Kennard. I think that should be the order. And after Luke Kennard, and Zubac as well. These 5 guys, but all the other guys, the minutes is too inconsistent, and when they get the minutes, their production is very also inconsistent. There is no star player, with Paul George out. There's no clear number 1 option. Marcus Morris Sr. should be, and Reggie Jackson, they should be 1 and 2. But the problem with both guys is that they don't get you any defensive stats. So in fantasy, you should have them, but their rankings, they're not going to contribute that much. Right? Reggie Jackson this game had one steal. Marcus Morris Sr. had 1 steal. They're going to score points, and they're going to hit some threes. Zubac is going to give you some rebounds. It's a little bit blocks, right? Amir Coffey is a guy that has been playing well in the last 2 weeks. He's still also a hold, 90th ranked player. Not too crazy. But he's going to give you 13, 14 points with 2 threes and a little bit defensive stats. So that he's also fine to have. And we're still waiting on Paul George. When is he coming back? What's going on with him? And Luke Kennard, you could definitely stream him for points and threes. And again, another guy on the Clippers, don't get you any defensive stats. Isaiah Hartungstein, interestingly, played 21 minutes while Zubac played 20. If Isaiah Hartungstein can settle in between 20 to 25 minutes, he becomes really interesting because he could get you a steal and over a block in those 20 to 25 minutes, and some rebounds. That make him like a top 70 player, I think. That could make him a top 70 player. But again, the minutes are now inconsistent. This game, I think the bench had it rolling, so the starters, they just didn't play high minutes. For the Hornets, a bad loss. Cody Martin needs to be picked up as long as Gordon Hayward is out. 39 minutes here. Did not have the best game, but he needs to be rostered if you play 35 plus minutes or just 30 minutes every night. Miles Bridges really struggled versus this Clippers defense. The counting stats still looked all right. And Mason Plumlee continues to get minutes. PJ Washington is just not great. 20 minutes, 3 for 14. If you play Mason Plumlee ever gets hurt, then PJ is interesting. He could provide in many categories. Terry Rozier, this is why I'm not a huge fan of Terry Rozier. It's just that in the last 2 seasons, games like this don't happen that often with Terry. He usually bounces back the next game. 10 points, 28% shooting, 4 for 14, and pretty much didn't do anything else. Hit 2 3 steal. LaMelo Ball, 23 points, 10 assists, and a steal. He's also been falling off a cliff in the last 2 weeks. I think he's probably outside of 50. Ever since he's been back, he was 45th ranked player. So outside of 40, ever since he coming back from COVID, 20 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds is still good, but the steals is gone, man. 0.6 steals. That's out to come back at some point. I think that's the biggest drop off, his steals. If you average from 1.7 to 1.8 to 0.6, yeah, you could drop 30 spot easy. And obviously all the other counting stats, also the volume also dropped a little bit. So I think continues to be a buy low, but throw him like a top 30, top 35 player. Like if you throw him a Zach LaVine, you throw him John Collins plus somebody, OG Anunoby plus somebody, try to do those type of trades to get LaMelo Ball. Let's go to the next game. The Portland Trail Blazers lost to the Chicago Bulls. It wasn't close, 116-130. And they just got they're dealing with a lot of injuries, this Portland team. Norman Powell, 22 points. Yep, he's gonna be efficient. He's gonna score close to 20 points. He's gonna hit 2.5 threes. With great efficiency, he did that. He did exactly that here. He took 10 field goals too. Robert Covington, still a must roster. We don't know when Larry Nance Jr. is back. I think when Larry Jr. does come back, he's also gonna play close to 30 minutes. So we don't know what Robert Covington, how that's gonna work out. Because Fernie Simons right now is the point guard. CJ is going to be the shooting guard, and Norman Powell is going to be the small forward. So those three guys, Robert Covington could come off the bench and still get 30 minutes. That's a possibility. We know how great he could be, getting us those defensive stats. Had 2 steals here. Yusuf Nurkic, not the best game, plays his 26 minutes. And he wasn't in foul trouble. Against the Bulls, I could see him struggling defend Vucevic on the perimeter. Did Vucevic have a huge game? Yeah, he only took 2 threes. So what happened this game? Nurkic only got 26, but he's been getting over 30 minutes. I wouldn't worry too much. And CJ went off here, took 23 shots. But he doesn't get to the free throw line that much. So with 23 field goals, he only had 29 points. If Harden takes 23 field goals, he would go to the free throw line 12 times, and he would have like 38 points. But overall, great stuff, and he's back and healthy. And Fernie Simons, still huge volume, 18 shots, hit 5 threes, 21 points, 6 assists. He's still playing great, but if I can get a top 40 or do a 2-for-1 to get a top 40 player, that's something I'll be looking to do. The points is really nice, the assists, the threes, but he's not a guy that's, free throw wise is get to the free throw line much and hit at a high clip. And as a guard, he doesn't get that many steals, right? So the counting stat look very pretty for Simons. You see the assists, you see in the last 2 weeks. Overall ranking is 67, probably where he is, top 70, top 80. Because he doesn't get any defensive stats, and he's a pretty low field goal guy. I think with CJ, he's been making 4 threes in the last 2 weeks. That's also too high. So I think, try to do a 2-for-1. If you can get a top 40 player, 100% do it. And now let's look at the Bulls. Ayo Dosunmu started at the point guard. Would you look at that? He's a must roster. In the last 2 weeks, let's see where he is. Wow. He's a 50th ranked player. That's higher than I thought. Can he maintain that until Lonzo Ball comes back? There's a possibility. He's averaging 1.6 steals. Like, he could average 1.5 steals. At the minutes is super high. The problem is when Lonzo comes back, where is he going to be? He's not going to get 30 plus minutes every single night, that's for sure. So you have him. You try to sell him, otherwise just have him on your team, write it out. But a must roster at the moment. Have 11 assists here, really, really good stuff. Zach LaVine, 20 points, a steal and a block, and averaging below average game from him. And Vucevic had a field day with Nurkic, 11 for 15. If he's shooting back up to normal, he's a top 15 player. He's already like a top 25 while shooting like 41-42% from the field. When he starts shooting 48-49, and this is a good start. DeMar DeRozan also had 10 assists. Man, they moved the ball really well this game. Had 2 steals. Overall, very good game from DeMar. This is what I want to see more of. Nobody's taking over 20 field goals. The big three all get a little bit. Javonte Green, he's not really fantasy relevant, although he had a decent game himself. 16 points, a steal and a block. And Kobe White, if you want 3-cent points, he's the guy, and he also provided a little bit of assist. So Kobe White and Fernie Simons, they're kind of similar. Points, they're guards, but they're not going to boost your free throw that much. They're not going to get you a lot of defensive stats. But the points, the threes, the assists look very nice. But this game, Kobe White, 18 points, 6 assists, 3 threes. I mean, not bad. So he's also a must roster at the moment until Lonzo Ball comes back, in my opinion. All right, let's go to the next game. This was a shocker. Cleveland Cavaliers, they were favored by a lot, even at Detroit. They lost 105, 115. This game, Darius Garland, good game, 5 threes, 24 points, 7 assists. He's pretty consistent now, right? If he has a game where he doesn't score, he's gonna get you 10 assists, right? Or he could have a game only 5 assists, but he scored 25 plus points. So he's always doing something, every single game, because he's one of everything gotta go through him whenever he plays, right? Look at the starting lineup. Nobody else is gonna, in terms of playmaking. Jared Allen, well, Yvonne Mobley can do that a little bit, to be fair. And Isaiah Okoro is just a defensive specialist. Let's not worry about him. And Jared Allen characteristically went 4 for 11 against the Detroit team. It's just a bad night for him. Had 2 blocks and 7 for 8 from the free throw line is also nice. Yvonne Mobley, his free throw, man, what's going on? 4 for 9? That's really tanking his value by, huge. 4 for 9 from the free throw line, but had 3 blocks and 9 rebounds. But with him, you don't have to pound free throws. I don't know what's going on with him lately, but he's going to improve. Free throws, that's just what happens sometimes. Dean Wade to get 26, well, let's not worry about him. And Kevin Love, he's up and down. 18 minutes, 19 minutes here, just 8 points and 7 rebounds. But the next game, he could very have a 20-10 in 22 minutes. That's just how Kevin Love is now. Cedi Osman with just 23 minutes with Laurie Markkinen out. He's really not getting more minutes. So let's not worry about him. And Rondo, one of the few guys, if you need some assist and assist only, you could stream him. In 18, 19 minutes, he could get you 5 or 6. But he's not going to give you anything else. For Detroit, what a game from Cade Cunningham. 6 for 21. I think last week he had a game where he had a triple-double, 30-plus points. And then the very next game, he had like 8 points. Because actually, I kept track of his stats because I was actually betting on him. But he had 10 assists here, which is crazy. He had a great second half. So with this guy, I think he's just very, very volatile. Like one game he could just completely go off, have a triple-double, 30-point triple-double. And the next game he would just have 6 points on 2 for 14 shooting. So a little bit inconsistent, but overall very, very good stuff. But with him, you always gotta worry about the field goal and turnover. Only 1 turnover here, so that's fine. So ignore the turnover. It's a really good line, 3 steals and a block. Corey Joseph somehow is still starting, and Killian Hayes is coming off the bench now. Both guys, if you want some assists and some a little bit steals, you could stream those guys. But outside of those 2 categories, they have no value. Isaiah Stewart played well, 31 minutes, but no blocks. That's the main thing. But 14 and 12 is nice. If he adds in 1 or 2 blocks here, that's a really good line. I think we still got to roster him. Just centers in the NBA, if they play 30-plus minutes, you just have to roster them. I don't think you have any other choice because the blocks are just too valuable. Although lately he hasn't been blocking a lot of shots. Sadiq Bey also went off. He picked this game to go off. 31 points, 3 threes, really good efficiency across the board. Another guy that's just inconsistent. He could have this game and the next game he scored 7 points on 20% shooting. And Hamidou Diallo, I think we could not move on from him. Jeremy Grant is going to be back soon. And also, who else? Yeah, Jeremy Grant is going to be back soon. Who knows? He might get traded. But as we can see, if Jeremy Grant gets traded, there's really nobody that all of a sudden become a must roster, right? I don't think, even without Jeremy Grant, Diallo plays just 20 minutes. All right, let's go to the next game. The Dallas Mavericks lost to Orlando Magic without Kristaps Porzingis. Kristaps, his injury is not too serious, so you would expect him to be back in next week, I think. So, but as long as he's out, we could look at maybe Maxi Kleber, although he still plays just 27 minutes. If you want some 3s and rebounds and blocks, you could stream him, but it's really not. I don't feel too confident. If you stream him like this game, he had 1 block, that's nice, 2 threes, 5 rebounds. But next game, 6 points. You're just not too sure. What you're gonna get out of him every game because he could have a couple bad games where he does absolutely nothing. Because his role on this team is really just catch and shoot, block some shots. If he can get consistent 1.2, 1.3 blocks, that's nice. But I don't think we're getting that from him this season. And the minutes is also not high enough. Just 27 minutes without Kristaps Porzingis. Dorian Finney-Smith played huge minutes, had a block, 3 threes, 10 points. Overall, an alright game. He's not gonna have 30. He's never gonna go off for 30 points, but he could have 2 steals and 2 blocks. He could have games like that, right? Kind of like a Herbert Jones type of player, maybe more efficient. Actually, sorry, I take that back. Herbert Jones has been very, very efficient. Jalen Brunson, 35 minutes, 2 assists with Luka around. He's just not gonna get the assists. And lately, he's been getting a lot of steals. I don't trust that. Had 0 assists, 0 steals here. Let's see if he can maintain his steal numbers. Luka Doncic had a triple-double and a steal. Great efficiency, but turnovers and free throw, they are always an issue. But Luka has turned it around lately. He's been putting up some huge numbers, and the Mavericks are winning, and he's been healthy as well. He missed a bunch of games. They're the 6th seed, 7-3 in their last 10 games. Not bad. Like the 6th and 7th seed in the West is pretty big. There's a pretty big difference between, yeah. The Suns, it looks like they're running away with it. They won 10 straight. And then you have the Warriors, and then you have the Grizzlies. I wouldn't put Warriors and Grizzlies in the same tier as well. So the Phoenix Suns, they are looking great to secure that 1st seed in the West and 1st seed overall. Whoever they play, they gotta go through Arizona. They gotta play 4 games. Well, not 4 games. They're gonna be the away team. And Reggie Bullock with Tim Hardaway Jr. out for season. If you want threes, maybe you could take a look at Reggie if they got a good schedule going on. For the Orlando Magic, Franz Wagner, another great game. 9 for 15, a steal, 18 points. That's not bad, especially the field goal and the points. Wendell Carter Jr., 14 rebounds is huge and a steal. But the problem with Wendell Carter Jr. is he's a really good rebounder. He gets 9, 10 assists, but that's the only thing he does. He doesn't get a lot of defensive stats. Steals, blocks. He gets 0.7, but not great for a power forward. Maybe average, below average. And his efficiency, both from the field and from the free throw line, also pretty bad. So his ranking is like the 90, 100. If you can execute a 2-for-1 to get a top 50 player, that's what I would do. Mo Bamba plays just 24 minutes. No blocks this game, but he'll be fine. He could block 2 shots easy in 28 minutes next game. But all his value is coming from the blocks. If you could definitely trade away Mo Bamba to get a guy that could give you 3-4 categories, right? You could maybe try to do, because his ranking is super high. He's a top 50 player. Try to, if you get a Gordon Hayward back, you get a boost in free throw, points, threes, right? But then you also lose out a lot of blocks. If you're already winning in blocks, there's no point having Mo Bamba. Or if you win Mo Bamba, you're still losing blocks, then there's something to think about. But I think as long as you're Mo Bamba, you're going to be competitive in a lot of the weeks. Because he, by himself, could win you blocks that week. There's just a couple guys like Mo Bamba, Jaren Jackson Jr., Rudy Gobert. So basically those top guys. Miles Turner, obviously. Right? If you have them, you just, unless you against a team with 2 of those guys, you always got a chance, I think, for the most part. Cole Anthony played well, 16 points, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds, but he was nowhere near where, given out the production he was having beginning of the year. Right now, I look at him as maybe a top 50, 60. 50 is really, I don't know, depending on how many defensive stats he get. And Jalen Suggs, on the surface, look pretty bad, 2 for 10, but have 5 assists, 2 steals, and block. I would take it. He's still a must-roster guy to me, playing 32 minutes, and I think we can move on from Garrett Harris. And Kiki basically split the minutes with Mo Bamba. That's an interesting trend. and played really well, 19 points and 3 steals. I think because he was playing so well, Mo Bamba didn't get the minutes. But the next game, Mo Bamba could get back up to 30. So I don't think I want to pick up Okiki based off of this one game. But if Wendell Carter Jr. and Mo Bamba ever miss games, he become a must roster. I think we all know that Okiki is a beast in category leagues. Let's talk about the next game. The Denver Nuggets destroyed the Milwaukee Bucks, 136. Jokic, another case for MVP, man. 7 for 9. He plays just 28 minutes. Couldn't miss a shot. Well, he missed 2 shots, 2 threes, 18, 15 assists. My God. If you traded Curry for Jokic, that's a robbery. You know, their value right now is not even close. Especially the last 2 months. Jokic has separated himself from the rest. LeBron is still number 2 ranked player, but the drop-off is pretty insane. And then you have LeBron, and then you have KD, and you have Jimmy Butler, and you have Curry at 5 now. So like Jimmy Butler, Curry, Joel Embiid, they're kind of in the same tier. Jokic is by himself, man. So good. Jokic is so good this year. Well, last year too. And he doesn't get hurt yet. Hopefully that continues. And Eric Gordon also went off here. You know, every time he plays like this, use this opportunity to sell him high. Will Barton, they just couldn't miss a shot. My God, Denver shot 60%. They could not miss a shot. Will Barton 6 for 7, Monty Morris 7 for 8, especially the starters. So I see why. Maybe it's probably just a fluke. There's no way they could shoot the ball, and threes especially. The starters, they couldn't miss from a 3-point line as well. So everybody played well. I think we could just, and Franco Capazzo played just 3 minutes. Everybody from Denver played well, especially the starters. We'll come back next game and check their stats, see how they like. But use this opportunity to sell Eric Gordon, Will Barton, and Monty Morris. Just try to sell these guys high. We look at the Milwaukee Bucks side. Giannis still played 31 minutes, though. Had 29 points. Got the stat, 9 rebounds, and still in the block. You know, I'll take it. Chris Middleton, 9 assists and 2 steals is pretty nice. But didn't play just 27 minutes, only had a pretty low usage. The rest of the Bucks guys, none of them played well. Bobby Portis played just 23 minutes, but there's really not much else going on. It's just a bad game from the Bucks, and nobody played that high minutes. Yeah, let's go to the next game. The Jazz, Donovan Mitchell is still out. I mean, he should be close. He should play next game, but Rudy Gobert was also out. So the Jazz, they've been losing. They are 2-8. They lost 5. So right now they're like the 4th seed in the West right now, and they have a pretty big game gap. I don't know if they can get up to the 3rd seed again, because the Grizzlies currently 4.5 games ahead of them, with 30 plus games left. Around 30 games left. That's I don't know. That's easy to do. So I think best case scenario they're gonna be end up in the 4th seed. They play either Denver or Mavericks, you know, which none of them is a easy task, I think. Bogdanovic had 23 points, 4 threes. Sure, try to sell high, because when Mitchell comes back, he's not gonna have. Well, his usage is not that high actually. Mike Conley took 17 shots, 22 points, 3 steals, and 5 assists. Really good game for Mike Conley in 28 minutes. But like I said many times, he's an older guard that's gonna rest. And he doesn't put up huge counting stat numbers either. Has he scored over 30 points this season? Maybe once, right? So yeah, I look to sell him. Royce O'Neal had 2 steals. You know, he's gonna do that from time to time, but not too big on him. You know, for sure, if you need some defensive stats, you could stream him. You need some little bit threes, but so inconsistent, this guy. That's what's gonna happen, right? When you're not the star player. Like, how many shots you take on that day, you don't get the say in that, right? It depends on, you know, the other team. Like, if they double team your star player, you know, is he gonna pass it to you, right? So it really you don't control that. He took 6 field goals this game. I think he had a couple games where he took 0 shots. So if you're counting points, you could stream him, sure, right? He's gonna give you a little bit of like rebounds, a little bit of assists. but all the counting stats are just pretty low across the board. Hassan Whiteside, meanwhile, as long as Rudy Gobert is out, he's a must roster. 12 rebounds and 3 blocks is pretty huge. Joe Ingles, looks like he got hurt. Is he ranked? He's not ranked. Yeah, we don't. I don't know what's gonna happen with him. He might be out for season, which obviously sucks. At this point of his career, how old is he? He is 34. Yeah, he is 34 years old. He had a non-contact knee injury, so he might just be out for season at 34 years old. With him out for season, I don't think anybody's it's not like Rudy Gay is gonna get, take all of his minutes, right? Because they're very different players. He comes off the bench, kind of facilitate the offense. So maybe they're gonna play Mike Conley more with the second unit, or Donovan Mitchell, one of those two guys. This is obviously not good. Sucks for Joe Ingles. And Jordan Clarkson with Mitchell out, played 34 minutes, had 17 points and 5 assists and a steal. An okay game from him as well. But none of those guys, Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson, Bogdanovich, with Donovan Mitchell out, nobody really became that guy. So just hold on to them. Otherwise, if they go off, try to sell them. For the Timberwolves, they've been playing really well lately. Well, I take that back. They're just 5-5 in the last 10. 8th seed. Anthony Edwards had just 15 points with 5 turnovers. Not the best game from him. Who went off this game? It's Karl Anthony Towns. A 30-point triple-double. That's got to be first in the season. Had 10 assists. Wow. Cat. I didn't know he can. On the season, where is he at? After this game, he's already the 8th ranked player, averaging 4 assists. That's great. Just the 1.2 blocks, but 1.1 steals is also nice. Yeah, I don't know. Cat used to be a 1.5, 1.6 blocks guy. But with Cat, just look at his numbers. You don't pound anything with Cat. You pound absolutely nothing. As a center, over the years, maybe you could say, okay, I got to pound assist with Cat. But now he's averaging 4 assists. It's obviously not a lot compared to other first-round guys, but still great. 4 assists. And, great efficiency everywhere as well. And average 2.2 threes. Honestly, I thought he could average more 2 threes as well. He's a really good three-point shooter. And usually the threes he take is wide open versus the other team centers when they can't go out there. Malik Beasley got the start, played just 23 minutes. Patrick Beverley is going to be back. D'Lo is going to be back, so he's not really. In this game, he plays just 23 minutes. So before, you could stream him for points and threes. That's no longer the case. Jordan McLaughlin, he can get you a bunch of steals and assists, right? If he continues to start, I think we might want to take a look at him. Jaden McDaniels went off this game 9 for 9, but I don't think I want to trust it. So we could leave him on the waiver wire. But a lot of Timberwolves bench guys play super well this game, especially Jaden McDaniels. But it could just be a one-game thing where he just go back to play 15 minutes, give you nothing next game. The last game of the night is the San Antonio Spurs. Put up a pretty good fight versus the Suns. They only lost 5 at Arizona. Keldon Johnson played 39 minutes, had 16 points, 2 threes, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Just Keldon Johnson numbers. This game, Doug McDermott went off 24 points. He's not really fantasy relevant. And a lot of the guys, man, the Spurs, what are they doing? They rested Derrick White. They rested Jacob Poeltl. They rested DeJounte Murray. And they only lost by 5. So really, just interesting team. Interesting. And Devin Vassell didn't seize the opportunity. Played 30 minutes, but had a pretty horrible game. Trey Jones played well, 15 points with 9 assists. But doesn't matter because all the starters going to be back next game. they are just resting young players at this point. For the Phoenix Suns, they consider they played the Spurs without 3 of their starters, and Chris Paul played 40 minutes. Wow, what a game. 20 points, 19 assists, a steal and a block. Chris Paul, after this game, he's the 14th, 15th ranked player. Yeah, I want to say sell him. Like, if I can get Chris Paul for LaMelo Ball, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, like, obviously they provide very different numbers. Chris Paul, at the end of the day, he give you 2 categories. Assist, a lot of assist. Yes, a lot of assist. And steals, right? He obviously provides pretty elite efficiency as well. But like, if you get a LaMelo Ball, sure, you lose out on 3 assists. But you get way more points, you get way more threes, you get more rebounds, you get more blocks, right? So that's something to think about. I think totally makes sense. If you can trade Chris Paul for LaMelo Ball, that's something I'll be looking to do. Play 40 minutes too. The minutes is too high. I guess, Cameron Payne was out, so they don't have a backup point guard, so they have to go with Chris Paul 40 minutes. But that's too high, man. Chris Paul is old. But another guy like LeBron, crazy. I mean, he's even more healthier than LeBron. Crazy. Devin Booker keep it going. 28 points for threes and a steal. Pretty good game from him. And as long as DeAndre Ayton is out, we could continue stream base Matt Biyombo. He's outplaying JaVale McGee with DeAndre Ayton out. Had a double-double and a block. And who knows what's going on with DeAndre Ayton. He's been out for 2-3 weeks now, very quietly. Cameron Johnson, minutes is great. Didn't really do a lot this game, but as long as Jay Crowder is out, he's a must roster. And Mikal Bridges, huge game as well. 26 points, 8 rebounds, 2 threes. But just want to see more defensive stats out of him. That's been the thing with him for the last 2 years. Just no defensive stats. All right, that's it for all the games, guys. I will see you later.